Good evening to those bored enough to watch. Last year, I made a video on my 15th birthday that discussed a lot of how that year was going for me, as well as a lot of other things. Just a general rambling from me, which is quite typical all things considered. I've already tried to write this video many times, but that got hindered mostly because of things such as me wanting to rewrite this video, or because of such things such as my laptop gracing me with a black screen, which results in me losing all the progress in terms of writing. I suppose there's a reason I save my work every 2.5 seconds whenever I sit down to write these things, but with that aside, it is currently the 14th of November at around 1:32 AM in 2023. I initially wrote a script for this video in September of this year, just 2 days before school had opened for me, in which after a lot of time had passed and I gradually spent less time working on the video due to prioritization of other projects such as the big video essays and many others, I eventually decided to rewrite the video, which is what I'm doing now. Many must be wondering why I'm even bothering to sit down and write this script a month in advance, but the reality is that I haven't been working on this video a month in advance. It's been far longer than that. I've been conceptualizing this video since during the summer holidays, in which during that time I began scrambling to get a wide multitude of things done before school started, writing the initial script for this video being one of them. Though I find myself sitting here now, wanting to rewrite this script for the umpteenth time in hopes that it'll be a bit more accurate to myself than it was in September. It probably won't be, but alas, that didn't stop me the first time. I doubt it will this time. As it stands, I'm currently working on my analysis video about Yakuza 3, as well as many other projects that I hope will eventually release sometime in December, as well as this month too. The truth is, I don't actually intend to celebrate my birthday much at all. I'm mostly making this video to uphold a tradition I seem to have started of uploading a video on my birthday for the past few years. For those who don't know, I initially wanted to upload a video of this nature on my 14th birthday, but ultimately that never came to fruition due to a lot of other factors that hindered its production. In its place, I uploaded a video about YouTube timestamps, which I coincidentally happened to be working on at that time. A year later, I finally uploaded a video of this nature, and that is something I intend to continue with this year. The midnight that this video is premiering on, hopefully, will likely be the only acknowledgement I give this day, mostly because I've got the misfortune of my birthday being on a Monday this year, and akin to a certain orange cat, I don't like Mondays. I've always wondered, what do people even do on these days? I don't intend to do anything. It's probably likely that people didn't even know my birthday was the same night that this video was being premiered, and it's not that I blame them either. I don't exactly go around waffling about my birthday as a conversation starter. If anything, I'll probably treat this day as a normal day. Who celebrates the day their problems started, right? Not me, that's for sure. I know I've just gone on a really long spiel about birthdays, and that's all this video really is. I don't exactly have a main point for this video, which is somewhat reminiscent to my older videos prior to analysis, where I would just discuss anything. In this video, I'm not sure what I'll be discussing, but I hope that you enjoy it nonetheless. So with that, I invite you to join me in this video on my 16th birthday. This year has been an interesting one. I went into it with one intention, to commemorate the 5th year of my channel. The video came out regarding such an occasion was one that I had in mind for a long time, and wanting to incorporate other people's artwork on that video was definitely an interesting experience. Even though it was mostly just me replacing my own sprite at times, it was nice to be able to do something with the artwork kindly drawn for me aside from just gawking at it every now and again. I wanted this year to be bigger and better than the previous in just about every way I could muster, hence why I began uploading so much at the beginning of the year. I would have loved to continue that momentum, but as videos get bigger and bigger in scale, there is unfortunately much more that I need to consider in that time. While I do my best to get my videos out in the best quality I can in the shortest amount of time I can, there are times where I need to accept that certain videos either can't be worked on at such a given time, or specific ones will take slightly longer than the others. I still want to deliver as many videos as I can, in which I have been trying to do even with videos getting bigger and bigger. I suppose one thing that did benefit video creation at the time was the games I was covering. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm usually not one to care whether a game is long or short, but that being the latter was really an aidful factor in video creation in hindsight whenever I give that consideration some thought. When it comes to games being long or short, as mentioned, I'm not normally one to care on such factors, as long as it doesn't feel like a drag to play through and it conveys everything it wants to in that manner. Additionally, games in general take less longer to beat when on a second playthrough simply because you, as a returning player, know much more about the game, its mechanics and functionalities, and where to go in general. Additionally, you also know what parts of the game to prepare for, as oftentimes you will find yourself in unexpected situations where you haven't a clue on what to do or where to go on a first playthrough. It's also much easier to understand a game's story with the hindsight of its future events. I know I've gone on a really long tangent about gaming as a whole and my experience with this, but it's here that I want to talk about something that conflicts with my love for gaming as a whole, that being school. For those who don't know, GCSEs is the big final boss of one's life in secondary school, and initially in September I went into this year with a plan, in which now I find myself abandoning learning and figuring it out as I go along. Admittedly, I'm way too stubborn to leave YouTube and all the projects I'm working on behind for the sake of this period of time. I can manage. The past few years, though extremely hectic, have shown that. I've given the idea some consideration and it never really appealed to me. Though I have aspirations outside of YouTube, it's still a core part of what I want to do. And the only unfortunate thing is it's still necessary to have some sort of educational qualification in case this YouTube thing doesn't work out for me. That's the most I'll talk about regarding school, and I am aware that I don't talk about it often, but it has been a very prominent aspect of my life during this year and the preceding ones. Though, with that aside, let's discuss something else, that being videos. While I was making videos about games I liked before this year, this is the first year that I fully transitioned into making videos of this caliber for the entirety of the year, and I do feel as though they've only gotten more longer. Whether it's because I'm waffling too much in them, or I simply have more to say depending on the game is beyond me, but it's been a great experience for me, being able to talk about the games that I like and have been wanting to talk about for a long time now, games such as the Yakuza series and the Five Nights at Freddy's series, and while I'm not entirely done with the former yet, as there are still quite a few games left to talk about, ultimately I appreciate the fact that I'm able to talk about these games, all my likes and dislikes about them and everything in between, which leads me to talk about one more thing before ending this video. As I'm writing this in November, it's difficult to definitively say what will happen for the rest of December, though I can talk about the plan, and that's trying to upload more videos before the end of the year. Of course, one of those videos being the one that will outline my plan for the rest of the coming year, in which for the sake of that video I chose not to talk about 2024 in this video. I want to at least finish with the current list of games I want to make videos about and start one anew for the next year, though I wouldn't be surprised if there are still a few of them remaining as ones I will likely carry over into January. There is still one game on that list that I have in mind that I likely won't discuss for a while, so do keep that in the back of yours as well. I am aware that this video in particular has likely been a lot shorter than the one uploaded previously, and there are probably a few reasons for that, one of which being that I'm currently writing this video ahead of the actual date, whereas the previous was only written and generally made a few days before. But regardless, there is one more thing I want to do before ending this video. Last year, at the end of a similarly natured video, I thanked a lot of people with their help for a large multitude of things. This year, I want to do the same thing. There are people that without, I wouldn't have gotten through this year. It's likely a little too early to be saying this since there will be a lot of videos for the remainder of December, but the first people I want to thank is you, the viewer. I've gotten a lot of support this year from you all on the videos that I posted, in which I definitely did get a lot of support last year, but it definitely was much more this year. Whether you're a returning viewer or you're a newcomer to my channel, thank you for all the continued support and patience. Additionally, my friends are people who continue to be my biggest supporters, not just through this YouTube thing but also in general as well. I don't want to dwell on this section of the video, mostly because I feel like I'm covering myself in cheese with how cheesy this section of the video is, but I genuinely appreciate all of the support. So thank you for that, and thank you for joining me in this video. So, there's the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I just want to apologize if I sound a bit off in this video. I am a little sick, which is also what I said in my video about asset reuse and why that isn't a bad thing. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed the video. I have a lot more videos that I'm working on, and I hope that I can bring them to you soon. Though for now, if you want to see the list of games I want to make videos about in the future, then you can always do so through the link in the description. Additionally, if you want to follow me, then my socials will be linked in the description, as well as any afterthoughts or messages I may want to add. With that, I haven't really got much else I want to say, so I'll see you all in my next video. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I wish you all a very pleasant evening.